ISD and all this other stuff, us having a conversation, an interracial conversation about race and pedagogy doesn't happen on high school campus. So the idea that you guys are diving in on this is pretty cool. I want to hear, is it Christine?
Yes, sir.
Can you share with your experience?
Last year was my third period class, and they were an amazing group of kids. We were comparing ourselves to Martin after the scores had come out. And I, point blank said, we were, because they were saying we're not a good school, we're not a good school. And I was like, you know what, we have an amazing football program, an amazing baseball program. We have all these great athletics, that's great. Academics, you're number 2 behind Martin, why? And y'all, it's the first time in my career that all I could do was not cuss. I just wanted to cuss so bad because one of the kids looked at me and said, Miss Taylor, they're white and we're not. And I said, what? And we had this discussion, and what the kids told me, and I applauded them for being so very honest with me. But what they told me was, Miss Taylor, we've been told our whole lives, we're not white, and it's a different standard. And I said, but what about all the people who, first open heart surgery, what color is he? And I started naming all these people. And we went on Google and looked at all these things that minorities did. And I was like, how dare you disregard? But it was the scariest moment of my teaching career to have my kids look at me honestly and say, but we're not white. But I did have kids in there who are honors students, who are AD students, and one of them, like I said, he's of Mexican descent. He said, hold up, I am Mexican with pride, and I have straight A's, and I am pre-AP, and Ms. Taylor, I don't believe for 1 minute I can't do it.
Here's the interesting thing about school. Claude Steele, who's a professor out of Stanford in California, talks about the whole stereotype threat. There are certain kids that believe innately because of who they are, they can't do better than others. Okay, call it a stereotype. They believe, we call it they believe a hype. All right, it's a stereotype threat. So us as practitioners, our kids see certain things, and they want to have that conversation. So our kids may not see certain contributions of the people that they serve until February. Well, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. All right? Our May 5th, which should be September 16th. All right? So as we start to look at what we control, you know what we control? 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and that's what kids read. So if we're not front-loading our lessons about the contributions of all people, our kids may not see themselves in the curriculum. They'll see themselves on Channel 2. They'll see Ferguson. They'll see a lot of other things that speaks to what's happening in their experience. So as merchants of hope, we have to continue to put in curriculum so kids feel good about it. So when we do have to do Huck Finn, we've already front-loaded the N-word. Somebody say amen?
Amen.
Because that may not be the most empowering book for certain groups of folk, if we're still teaching that, if you will. Okay, so this is a touchy subject, but you guys are going, and it's going to be emotional. Outside voice,
I think that one of the breakdowns is with our kids with diversity are priorities. In another culture, or maybe the Asian culture, the priority in that household and with those children is education. But when you get to African American kids, the priorities and their focus is on maybe trying to obtain those things that are worth a lot, or clothes and shoes and trying to fit in. That's where their mindset is, and it's not after obtaining education. But the obtaining education should be number 1. But I think that the priorities are off.
Okay. We're going there, y'all. I like this professional development.